So Kelis made black versions of classic toy style characters, and somehow grown adults got mad. Not kids, not the children that might actually play with the toy, adults, calling it Thug Lightyear, calling it Cuz Lightyear, talking about To the Cookout and Beyond. And that right there tells you it was never really about the toys. Being reimagined as black makes you this uncomfortable. The toy isn't the problem. The reaction is. Let's get to it. Cue the clip.
This that Raymundo Reacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stay for the commentary cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.
Okay, so this is the unboxing of Woody. So dope. I really love him. We took a lot of time to make sure all the details were right. If you look, his little sheriff badge, even his belt buckle is popping. You can take his little pistol in and out. His hat is magnetized, it comes on and off. We got his fro tight, his little scarf. Look at the spurs on his boot. He's just really well made. He's fragile because it's like an art piece. You want to sit this on like a mantle or a bookshelf or something. And of course, you guys know who's coming next.
To infinity and beyond!
Go to Make It Brown, get your plushies, get your collectibles, get your art, get your culture. We love y'all.
Now on the surface, this looks simple. Kelis has this toy brand called Make It Brown. And the whole idea is taking familiar pop culture style toys and reimagining them through a black and brown lens. But the reason this hits deeper is because Kelis said when she was younger, her mother used to paint the dolls brown because there weren't that many options. That's the whole story right there. Before companies cared about representation, black parents had to customize childhood themselves. They had to paint the dolls brown, they had to find the one black doll on the shelf, they had to make something out of nothing so that children can see themselves in the imagination. So this isn't just Black Buzz, this isn't just Black Woody, this isn't just the toy reprint, this is a correction. This is somebody saying, why were black children always expected to imagine themselves in a world where they barely existed? And that's a fair question, because let's be honest, black kids watched the same movies, played with the same toys, loved the same characters, quoted the same lines, went to the same birthday parties, wanted the same lunchboxes, wanted the same action figures. But a lot of the time, the toy aisle told them one thing: you can love this world, you can buy into it, you can support it, but you are not the default in this world. You are the side character, the special edition, the diversity release, the one that comes later, if they remember. So when Kelis makes a toy that says, no, we could be centered too, I don't see that as disrespect. I see that as imagination finally catching up to reality. Black kids have always been a part of the audience. Now, they get to be a part of the image.
How can we stop racism if we are talking about it all the time? Now we have Kelis Rogers showcasing a new Woody, a brown Woody. Why? Because a website has decided to make everything in brown to make everyone feel represented. Who gives a because I don't. I was raised having white Woody and I prefer it for the rest of my life. I have got histories with it. So if you feel that insecure, go and create your own characters. Alright? Stop ruining my childhood.
Now this is where it gets interesting, because the backlash wasn't just, I don't like the toy. That will be one thing. Everybody doesn't have to like every design. Somebody can say the colors are off, the face looks weird, the concept just isn't for me. Cool, but that's not what a lot of these comments were. They went straight to race. These are adults that are saying these things, and that matters because those jokes, they're not neutral. They're telling you exactly what they associate blackness with. The second a character becomes black, now he's a thug, now he's hood, now he's a joke, now he's not heroic anymore, now he's not universal enough, now he belongs to a stereotype. That's the part people want to skip over. They don't want to admit it exposes a bias, because if your first instinct when you see a black version of a toy is to turn them into a criminal, then the problem isn't the toy company. The problem is what blackness means in your imagination. Real talk. And here's where the math really stops mathing. People keep saying, leave the original alone. Keep it authentic. Stop changing everything. But these are fictional characters. A toy is already imagination. A cartoon is already imagination. A space ranger is already imagination. A cowboy doll that talks is what? Already imagination. But the minute someone imagines that character as black or brown, suddenly everybody becomes a historian. Suddenly everybody cares about accuracy. Everybody wants to protect the sacred truth of a plastic toy. That's funny as hell to me because it's fictional when it's white, but it becomes political when it's black. It's just a character when it looks like the default, but it becomes an agenda when it looks like us. And that's the real issue. Some people are not defending authenticity. They're defending whiteness as the default setting. And I think this is the part some people need to truly understand. Everything is not for you. That's okay. Every toy doesn't have to be made for every person. Every version doesn't have to replace the original. This is not the same thing as someone walking into your house and taking your childhood away. The original toy still exists. The original movies, they still exist. The white version you love still exists. No one deleted anything. Kelis just made room for another version. And some people are acting like inclusion is theft. That's the problem. Representation is not stealing from you. It's sharing the imagination. It's saying you had your version. Now let somebody else have theirs too. And if that feels like loss to you, then you were never mad at the toy. You were mad at the idea that you were no longer the only audience that matters. That's why I actually like this topic, because I don't want every conversation on this channel to be trauma, scandal, and disrespect. Sometimes we need to talk about creation, ownership, imagination, black people building things for black people, because there's power in that. There's power in a black child seeing a toy and not having to ask, can I pretend this is me? There's power in a parent not having to paint a doll brown themselves. There's power in saying we don't have to beg to be included. We can create our own version. And that's why Kelis's story matters. Her mother painted dolls brown because the market didn't see her. Now Kelis is making it brown because she does. That's a full circle. That's not ruining childhood. That's healing a small part of it. And this connects to a bigger problem. And this happens every time blackness enters a space people thought was neutral. Black mermaid, people lost their mind. Black superhero, people complain. Black cowboys, people act like history disappeared. Black dolls, people make thug jokes. At some point, we have to ask, what are you really protecting? Because it's not the story, it's not the character, it's not the toy, it's the comfort of a world where black people can consume the fantasy but never reshape it. And that's why these reactions matter, because adults laughing at a black toy tells kids something too. It tells them that you can be included, but only if we approve the version of you. And that's exactly why brands like Make It Brown matter. They don't wait for approval, they just exist. So here's my final verdict. Kelis didn't take anything from anybody. She didn't erase the original. She didn't destroy anyone's childhood. She made room. And if a black version of a fictional character makes you mad, then maybe you need to ask yourself why whiteness feels like authenticity to you. Because black kids deserve fantasy too. They deserve nostalgia. They deserve toys that look like them without it being a joke. And the wild part is, the people making the loudest jokes aren't even the target audience. I mean, how lame can you be? They're not buying the toy. They're not even raising the kids that need it. They're not worried about the mothers painting the doll brown at the kitchen table. They're just mad somebody made imagination less centered around them. And honestly, that says more about them than it does Kelis. But I want to know what y'all think. Is Make It Brown a powerful representation move? Or do you think reimagining classic style toys goes too far? Drop it in the comments. And until next time, if you enjoyed the content, you want to stay locked in, hit that sub button to the right and to the left, more dope content. Until next time, I'm out.
This that Raymundo Reacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stayed for the commentary cause it made sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.